So thanks guys for having me. Very excited to be here. So my name's Luke Jones, and through our organization Keller Williams, we help people take action, build communities, and earn freedom through a state agency. So that's what we do. And we want to do that because we want to make sure that people can spend more time doing the things they want and with the people that they love. So that's our aim with Keller Williams. And you're all assembled here as business owners and entrepreneurs, and there's never been a better time than right now to build a business, right? I think that there's so many opportunities. It's a wonderful time to be an entrepreneur and blaze a trail of your own. However, it is also at the same time we're going through unprecedented challenges, right? And this is a very unsettling market with very funky market conditions that mean that success in life can be more elusive than ever if you don't have the right skills, the right perspectives, and the right mindset. So that's what we're going to talk about this morning. So first and foremost, I want to congratulate all of you, right, for being here and at this time in the morning and being learning based and leaning in and relationship based. And in our world at Keller Williams, we have 6 personal perspectives that I want to share with you this morning. Now, these are perspectives that can help anyone, not just people in our world of a state agency, but anybody in any profession, really be successful in both life and in business. And being learning based is one of those key perspectives. If you can make learning based one of the foundations, one of the real foundational pillars of your approach to life, then you can learn how to break through those natural ceilings of achievement and get through to the next level. And you'll learn how to use and commit to the 80-20 principle. If you guys know what that is, the Pareto principle, you'll understand how to learn that in your world. And that means being able to work smarter, right? And not just harder. And then you learn how to remove some limiting beliefs that you might have that are holding you back. And most importantly, you learn how to be accountable to yourself and to those around you. And you learn how to do the things that you need to do to get the things that you need to get, so then you have the right to do the things you want, right? So continue, obviously, to be learning based. Be a sponge, right? Soak it all up and learn how to model those that have been before you. Have you guys heard of Tony Robbins? I would assume. So as Tony Robbins has said, success leaves clues, right? And so find mentors and coaches and follow in the footsteps of giants. And most importantly, have excitement and energy about this, because it's got to be fun, right? Have excitement for this next chapter in our lives. And the reason that's important is that energy is the fuel that powers you. So the 6 personal perspectives that I want to talk about today are very, very foundational to our organization, which is called Keller Williams Realty. Keller Williams Realty, 40 years old next year, is the world's largest real estate company. And we are we're a coaching and training company, but we're sort of disguised as an estate agency. But we have 200,000 associates worldwide. We're in 57 countries now. Most recently, we just opened up in Switzerland. Founded in the US, largely in the US and Canada, but now in all across the world. And the 6 personal perspectives are part of our basic vocabulary and our philosophy of leadership and achievement. These perspectives came into existence when the founder of the company, Gary Keller, and he's the chairman of the board still, he asked the question, what is it that differentiates those who achieve at the highest level from those who don't seem to accomplish as much. So I'll ask you guys, what is it that you think that differentiates those that achieve so much more than others who don't? Any ideas, any thoughts on that?
Partly luck.
Luck, okay.
Partly work, like level of work, and
Yep.
mindset.
Mindset, okay.
Willing to fail.
Willing to fail, love that, absolutely. Mindset, the willingness to fail. Anyone else? Ambition. After thoroughly researching this question, right, Gary discovered that all high achievers have 3 basic attributes in common. Mindset, your attitude, it's kind of similar to mindset, and your approach to life. And it was this question that led us to discover these 6 personal perspectives. The first one is committing, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing because it's a big opportunity to learn, right? All of these different perspectives, and we could do a deep dive into each one, but I'm just going to talk through the 6 of them and go into a little detail. The first one is committing to self-mastery. So it's saying, I'm going to nail this and I'm going to master this. So before you do anything, you need to decide to become the expert in your field, and you need to commit to that. So that's the first of the 6 personal perspectives. The second personal perspective, which is kind of a game changer for a lot of people, and I think, John, you sort of nodded there, maybe you know about it, but maybe some others don't, is committing to the 80-20 principle. Who knows what the 80-20 principle is? You do? Okay, good. It's great that some of you don't. This is awesome. So, an Italian economist and philosopher and business person and a farmer called Vilfredo Pareto realized that 80% of the wealth in his country came from 20% of the people. He also realized, really interestingly, that 80% of the yield from his farming came from only 20% of his crop. So he got thinking about this because he was an economist and a sort of, sociologist and everything. He really did the deep dive. But it wasn't until another person came along that really really looked at this in more detail and extrapolated this out across all industries and across all business and across all walks of life. And interestingly, that chap, I can't even remember his name now, is sort of an economist and scientist, but it's always now known as the Pareto principle. And the Pareto principle says that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. And it really is true. And so what that means is that it gives you the opportunity to understand that you could be busy, but actually in reality, all the lion's share of the results that you want are going to come from just a small few things. So you then get to decide what those small things are, those big rocks, right? So it's not focusing on the small things, it's focusing on those big rocks. And the big rocks could be as simple as your family, your health, your well-being, your spirituality, all those things. But in business, it could be lead generating, your customers, your culture. And so the 80-20 principle became the second of our 6 personal perspectives. The third personal perspective is really then identifying those big rocks. You've now become an expert because you've committed to self-mastery. And now, as opposed to just being, and this is relevant for all of you, as opposed to just being entrepreneurial, which is cool, you want to be purposeful. So it's moving from being just entrepreneurial to being really purposeful about what you do. And this gives you that focus again. So entrepreneurial is great, right? But with entrepreneurial, you hit those natural ceilings where you're like, this is as good as it's gonna get. Whereas when you're purposeful, you can break through. You can go to the next level. And so that's the third of the 6 personal perspective, is moving from E to P. The fourth one is, again, you guys already excelling in this, right? Because you're here. But it's being very purposeful around this. It's making learning based the foundation of your growth. So what I mean by that is choosing to actually lean into learning all the time and making learning be part of making that one of your big rocks, right? So you can actually go ahead and schedule it and calendar it and put it in your diary and commit to it. So by making learning based the foundation of your growth, it's that you're willing to be taught and that you always pursue learning. Because what happens is that for most of us, we get to that natural ceiling of accomplishment, and then we think, I don't know how to break through. But for those who are really learning based, you look at that and you go, what do I need to do to get better, to get to the next stage? But it's interesting because in truth, there's things that we all have done over habits and we just know how to drive, but we had to learn how to drive, right? And so it's a bit like when you start something brand new, you're unconsciously incompetent. You don't even know that you don't know how to do something. So it's like it's all brand new and you're like, I have no idea what's going on when you first open that TikTok or whatever, right? But then once you know that you don't know something, you become consciously incompetent, where you're like, oh my goodness, I really don't understand this at all. This is all very new to me. I don't get it. But if you're learning based, you then say, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to really become consciously incompetent and learn how to then become consciously competent. So I'm now learning how to do something and I'm applying the skills that I've learned, and it's a lot of focus, a lot of hard work, and you're kind of having to kind of follow the model and go through the steps. But you do that enough and you then get to the part where you're unconsciously competent, where it's just natural. And that is a process and it takes time. So anyone can learn anything. Some of us have God-given gifts, but for the most part, anyone can do anything if they're just willing to learn. The fifth one is kind of really important, particularly for maybe a culture like ours in the UK, where there's a bit of a tall poppy syndrome. Oh, he's successful, let's cut him down at the knees, or maybe there's like this kind of like, no, you can't do that. And so it's about removing your limiting beliefs. So a limiting belief is something that holds you back because you're conditioned, you've been told, or you've grown up around an environment where it's like, no, you can't do that. No, that's not going to work. And so working to remove those limiting beliefs will really set you free, because it gives you the opportunity to have a completely different perspective on anything that comes your way. So if you can remove those limiting beliefs, then you can really apply those other things of then learning how to do it and committing to it, and then making sure that you focus on that. So removing those limiting beliefs is the fifth of our 6 personal perspectives. And then the 6th is kind of what we believe at Keller Williams that we offer in spades, is accountability. So accountability means you're saying, it's mine, I own it. I'm gonna be accountable to this. And we can't make anybody do anything. You have to choose to be accountable to yourself, but you have to have the support around you to hold you to account to your goals. And you need to have that kind of structure, right? Or that coach or that mentor. And so accountability is our 6th personal perspective. So that's our 6 PPs, and I do have a parting gift for you guys, which is that if you feel like today is interesting and of value to you, we run these events for anybody. You know, this is not like you have to sign up to a course or pay, you know, a subscription or whatever. We just do this, what we do, right? We want to pour into people through education. And so we run events like this throughout the year. We're having a great clinic coming up in mid-November about business planning, because you've got like 50 days at that point to the end of the year. So what's your plan for the new year? Let's have a business planning clinic. Run a lot of these events. And we then offer to anyone that is part of our community and part of our global network, this is what we do all the time. So the calendar that James runs and administers and looks after is packed full of all these events, because it really is about being learning based and being an expert and sharpening your axe and being the person, so that then the idea is that we want to be able to go out there into our communities and serve people who have homes or need a home or want to buy a home or want to develop a property or lease a property or be a landlord or whatever. We want to help them by being their trusted advisor. And the only way that they're going to work with someone is if they know, like, and trust them, but if they're an expert. So we want to make sure that all of our associates are experts. But most of all, we do this because all of our success, and again, this is common sense, right? But all of our success is through our people. So we cannot be successful unless our people are successful. So it creates this win-win or kind of no deal thing. And we're a company that's been built for estate agents by estate agents. So I'm an estate agent, I have been an estate agent for many years, albeit in the US. And so we're really built by agents for agents. And we know that building businesses is really hard. We get it, right? So every single one of our associates and anyone that's in our community, they all own and operate their own business, just like you guys, and it's really hard. But if you can surround yourself with really passionate, hard-working, learning-based, entrepreneurial people that are willing to follow the proven models, then anything is possible. So last but not least, I just want to share our mission with you, right? So this is our mission. So we want to help you create a career that's really worth having and build a business that's really worth owning, so that funds a life that's really worth living. And then this way you get to give and have experiences that are really worth having, and you leave a legacy worth leaving.